One morning you wake up, and nothing seems to make sense. What you do, where you're going, who you are, it all feels lost in a fog. That emptiness? It's a silent scream every man faces at some point. And maybe you're right there now. But hear this. This emptiness isn't the end. It's where the real questions begin. Because Stoic philosophy reminds us, the outside world shouldn't control you. What really matters is how you treat yourself. If you're ready to face that emptiness, to rebuild your inner leadership, this video is for you. Guided by Marcus Aurelius, we'll explore how a modern man can return to his center. But first, let's ask something deeper. Why does this emptiness feel so familiar? And how does a Stoic man face this darkness inside? Let's find out together. Have you ever felt a wave of emptiness hit you out of nowhere? Everything seems fine on the outside, but inside there's a dull ache, something missing. That feeling, it has a name. It's one of the most common but invisible problems of modern life, inner emptiness. The ancient Stoic philosophers knew this feeling well. Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, "If you can't bring order within, you can't bring order to the world outside." So that emptiness isn't about what's missing in your life. It's about losing direction inside yourself. Today, many men look successful on the outside, but inside they feel tired, lost, unsatisfied. Why? Because we build our lives only around external goals. Get a good job, make money, have a social life, maybe find a relationship. But then what? That's when the silence hits. That's when the emptiness creeps in. Because no external success can fill the lack of inner direction. And Stoicism makes this crystal clear. The only thing you truly control is your character. And character isn't found out there. It's shaped in your choices, your stance, your search for meaning. That emptiness, it's not your enemy. It's a signal. It's telling you something's off. You're not supposed to suppress it. You're supposed to listen. And the more you ignore it, the louder it becomes. This is where Stoic wisdom asks the most powerful, simple question. What do I have control over right now? It may sound small, but it brings you back from future anxiety, from past regrets, and into the present, into action. Because emptiness often comes not from what's missing, but from where you've stopped taking responsibility. So what do we do with that emptiness? In part 2, we'll explore how a Stoic man responds to this feeling, and what daily practices can help you navigate it with strength and clarity. Let's keep going. People often see emptiness as the enemy, something to run away from, something that must be filled immediately. But the Stoic philosophers believed the opposite. They said, emptiness isn't something to escape from. It's a mirror you need to look into. So how does a Stoic man face that mirror? First of all, he doesn't suppress the emptiness. He sits with it. He stays present with it. As Epictetus said, it's not the event itself that disturbs you, but the meaning you give to it. That means the emptiness you feel doesn't make you weak. It's actually a signal showing you something needs to be reevaluated. In today's world, most men turn to external fixes, a new job, a new relationship, a new habit. But the Stoic mindset says fix what's inside first, then transform what's outside. And for that, there are a few core steps. Step 1. Daily silence practice. Take at least 5 minutes every day to sit in complete silence. No distractions, no noise, just you and your inner voice. During those 5 minutes, ask yourself these 3 questions. What do I really want today? What am I trying to fill this emptiness with? Is it aligned with my values? This simple habit done consistently helps you realign with your inner direction. Because emptiness is often just a compass that's lost its sense of direction. Step 2. Set small, meaningful goals. You don't need to create a grand life plan. In fact, the heart of Stoicism is the opposite. Not big words, just small, steady actions. Set one meaningful goal for yourself each day. Maybe it's reading a chapter from a book. Maybe it's making that phone call you've been putting off. What matters is this: take actions that reconnect you with your self-respect. Step 3. Living by your values. Emptiness is often stronger in men who live for external approval. But a Stoic man doesn't use the outside world as his compass. He follows his values. You don't feel happy because someone likes you. You feel happy because you stayed true to yourself. Managing emptiness isn't about filling it with random things in a panic. It's about filling it with meaning. And that kind of meaning never comes from outside. It only comes from within. But what if life is hitting you hard? What if you lost your job, got dumped, or everything feels like it's falling apart? Then what? That's exactly what we'll explore in the next part. How do you stay grounded when everything around you is falling apart? Let's talk about how to not lose your direction in the middle of chaos. Sometimes life hits so hard that it's not just emptiness you feel. It's a heavy weight pressing down on you. And it's in those moments that the real test begins for the Stoic man. Because true leadership doesn't show up in comfort. It shows up right in the middle of the storm. Marcus Aurelius said it best: a sailor shows his skill only in a storm. Hardship is where the Stoic mind is forged, because the Stoic knows the world outside might be dark, but inside your compass must stay steady. So how does a Stoic man keep his inner compass? First method: set an inner direction, not an outer one. Uncertainty in the outside world can pull most men off course. Losing a job, a breakup, pressure from family. But the Stoic perspective says, your direction is not set by the storm. It's set by your inner resolve. That's why during hard times you must ask yourself, what can I do right now that is actually in my control? That one question pulls you out of helplessness and brings you back to your center. Because at the heart of Stoicism lies this truth: let go of what you can't control. Focus on what you can. Second method: hold yourself even closer when you feel lost. When your partner leaves you, when your family doesn't support you, when life falls apart, it's easy to let go of yourself. But the Stoic man doesn't fall for that trap. He returns to his center, to his daily practices, his values, his silence, because he knows emotional collapse is temporary, but commitment to yourself is permanent. Third method: make struggle part of who you are. Epictetus said, every challenge that comes to you is a training sent to shape you. Every crisis you face is a chance to build Stoic virtues: courage, temperance, wisdom, justice. These aren't just words in a book. They grow through the way you respond to real-life struggles, no matter how heavy life gets. If you can remember who you are beneath the weight, then you're becoming a Stoic man. But what if the people around you don't understand you? What if they constantly drag you down, drain your energy, and kill your motivation? That's exactly what we'll face in the next part: how to deal with negative people and set Stoic boundaries. Let's go there next. Sometimes the biggest emptiness doesn't come from outside events. It comes from the people around us. People who constantly complain, criticize you, drain your energy. And the hardest part? These people are often the ones closest to you. But the Stoic man knows. Respect doesn't come from asking for it. It starts with setting boundaries. First boundary: keep conscious distance from emotionally toxic people. Seneca once said, the first step in protecting your soul is avoiding toxic conversations. It's not just about physical space. Emotional distance matters too. If someone keeps dumping weakness on you, pulling you down, This is where kindness ends and clarity begins. Saying something like, "I'm trying to gather myself today. Let's talk another time," isn't passive. It's self-respect. Second boundary. Boundaries are silent strength. Many men think setting boundaries means yelling or starting a fight, but the Stoic way is built on moderation. You don't overreact, and you don't overaccept. Saying, "I don't want to respond to this right now," or "I'm not open to talking about this," isn't harsh. It's firm, and real strength lives in that firmness. Third boundary. Any relationship that doesn't grow you will drain you. Every moment spent with negative people clouds your inner compass. A Stoic man doesn't carry someone else's chaos into his own mental home. That applies to relationships, friendships, and work. If a partner constantly disrespects you, plays mind games, or puts you down, saying, "I'm not okay with this kind of communication," or "I choose not to stay in a relationship where I'm being belittled," isn't arrogance, it's personal leadership. Fourth boundary. Boundaries are not a crime, they're a responsibility. You don't have to invade someone's life with anger. Just quietly protect your own space. That's how the Stoic man walks, because he knows, if you don't respect yourself, no one else will. So, what if we've set our boundaries, but inside, we still feel hurt? What if disappointment, rejection, betrayal have left real scars? That's exactly what we'll face in the next part, how to overcome inner wounds with Stoic strength. Let's keep going. Some emotions don't fade easily, especially resentment. That friend who ignored you, the partner who left you halfway, the boss who never gave you the credit you deserved. For the Stoic man, this is where the real challenge begins. Becoming the leader of today without being trapped in the wounds of the past. First lesson, Marcus Aurelius once said, "You pay the price for your resentment." That line comes straight from his journals, and it still holds true, because resentment isn't just a feeling, it's a weight you carry. You want to move forward, but that weight pulls you back with every step. The Stoic approach is this: you don't have to forgive the person, but you also don't have to carry the pain anymore. Forgiving doesn't mean forgetting. It doesn't mean loving again. It means not staying stuck. That's the foundation of Stoic freedom. Second lesson, Epictetus said, "It's not what happens that hurts you, it's the meaning you give it." When someone disrespects you, betrays you, or treats you unfairly, the real power lies not in what they did, but in how you choose to see it. Ask yourself, what is this moment here to teach me? How can I come out of this stronger? These questions shift you from a victim mindset to a leader mindset. Remember, your story isn't written by what others did to you. It's written by how you responded. Third lesson, stay centered even when you're hurt. Stoicism isn't about suppressing your emotions, but it's not about drowning in them either. Yes, men feel pain, and yes, even Stoic men get disappointed, but they know, I can move through this emotion without letting it control me. So feel it, but don't get stuck. Observe it, but don't become it. That's why the Stoic man turns inward each morning, because inside he finds not only the pain, but also the power to begin again. So in the end, carrying your resentment doesn't make you stronger. It slows you down. Real strength? It's in putting it down and walking forward anyway. But what if you've let go of the pain and you still feel alone? That brings us to one of the most important skills a Stoic man can learn: making peace with solitude. In part 6, we'll explore the Stoic view of being alone and how solitude can become a deep source of inner strength. Let's keep going. For the modern man, solitude is often something to fear. Sometimes it's the fear of being left. Sometimes it's the fear of not being loved. But most of all, it's the fear of being alone with yourself. Yet Stoic philosophy teaches us something completely different. True leadership begins with the courage to be alone. First practice. Turn inward, because there's a source inside that line captures the heart of Stoic solitude. Being alone isn't a weakness. It's a space where you reconnect with your inner resources. Because when the outside world becomes chaotic, you need stillness to remember who you are. Don't be afraid of that silence. There's strength in it. There's direction in it. It's where you stop following the world's compass and start listening to your own. Second practice. Why Stoic solitude is a superpower. Being alone doesn't make you weak. It frees you from dependency. A man who constantly seeks approval in relationships, who needs constant attention from friends, who relies on likes and comments to feel seen, hasn't built his inner leadership yet. But the Stoic man knows, I can be alone and still stay centered. This means learning to hear your own voice without needing anyone else to echo it. Third practice. The silence ritual. Just 5 minutes of silence a day. Turn off the phone, put the screen away, shut out the noise, and ask yourself, what do I need most right now? Who am I without the roles the world gives me? This small daily ritual doesn't make you resist solitude. It helps you befriend it. Remember, solitude is not something to fear. It's the quiet space where you rebuild yourself. And once you've made peace with that space, no relationship can define you and no loss can destroy you. But now the question is, how do you stay on course when you're alone? When the storms of life hit, what compass do you follow? In Part 7, we'll explore the Stoic principle of resolve and how to stop drifting through life and start leading it. The Stoic philosophers saw indecision as an inner battle. To them, a man's strength wasn't about physical power. It was about mental clarity and the ability to decide. Because making a decision isn't just choosing something, it's declaring to the world who you are. First decision. Epictetus said, if you know what you should do, do it. If you don't, learn. That one sentence forces modern men to face what they often avoid: responsibility. Many men, especially when it comes to emotional choices, either leave it to their partner or drift through life feeling passive and lost. But not deciding is still a decision, and it often makes you a side character in someone else's story. Second decision. Why is it so hard to decide in modern life? Because taking responsibility also means taking risks. What if I get it wrong? What if they blame me? What if they leave me? But for the Stoic man, decision-making is like a workout. It's a muscle, and it grows stronger with practice. It starts with small decisions. What am I going to wear today? Who chooses dinner? Who makes the holiday plan? Then the bigger questions come. Is this relationship good for me? Does this job make me stronger? What kind of man do I want to become? Third decision. For the Stoic man, decision equals identity. Your decisions define you. If a man always says, I don't know, eventually the people around him stop taking him seriously. Uncertainty kills attraction. It destroys trust. But clarity is always attractive. And even when the Stoic man doesn't know what to do, he knows this: he must build his own compass. Fourth decision. Leading inside a relationship. Let's say your partner asks, what should we do tonight? And you answer, doesn't matter, you decide. Say that a few times and she becomes the decision maker. And you slowly stop being a partner and start feeling like a child. But when you say, I have an idea, here's my plan, what do you think? You've just taken the lead. And that direction centers you, both in your relationship and in your life. Remember, to decide is to lead, and true leadership starts with leading yourself. But what if you do make a decision, and people around you don't understand it? What if they criticize you, or even mock you for it? That's what we'll explore in Part 8, how a Stoic man deals with criticism and the need for approval. If you're ready, let's move forward. The feeling of emptiness in your life doesn't always come from something missing. Sometimes it comes from not knowing where you're going. When you don't have a direction, you just keep spinning in circles, stuck in the same place. For the Stoics, the solution to that isn't found in something external. It's found in your inner compass. Epictetus said, "For the man who doesn't know where he's sailing, no wind is favorable." In other words, if you want to use the winds of life, you first need to know where you want to go. That direction could be a career goal, a way of showing up in your relationships, or a solid inner stance. But whatever it is, you need a direction. In modern life, a lack of direction leads to distraction, burnout, and confusion. If you wake up in the morning without knowing why, you end up living like a machine, just going through the motions. The Stoic man is different. He wakes up with a sense of direction, and he begins each day with one simple question: which virtue will I live today? It doesn't have to be a huge goal. Maybe it's choosing to be patient. Maybe it's acting with fairness. Maybe it's staying calm under pressure. But every day you choose a direction with intention. And that's what pulls you out of the emptiness. Because now, you're no longer just drifting. You're a traveler with purpose. And now, it's time to talk about how to stay on that path. Being a Stoic man doesn't mean being emotionless. In fact, it means being strong and mature enough to recognize your emotions. Because suppressing a feeling doesn't make it disappear. Every emotion you push down will eventually come back and take control. Seneca said, "A person can only control their emotions once they understand them." That's why Stoicism teaches us emotional awareness. When you feel empty or lost, Stoicism doesn't tell you to run from the feeling. It tells you to stay with it. Ask yourself, why am I feeling this right now? What could this emotion be trying to show me? Living with those questions makes you stronger, because you stop being a prisoner of your emotions and start becoming their guide. Let's say you wake up one morning and feel like doing nothing. A wave of meaninglessness hits you. Instead of distracting yourself, scrolling endlessly, or blaming yourself, do what a Stoic would do. Pause, breathe, write, name the emotion, accept it, without trying to bury it. Because emotions don't heal by being suppressed. They heal by being seen. That awareness makes you emotionally stronger, and that strength becomes your armor, especially when facing things you can't control in the outside world. But now comes the next question. How do you wear that armor every day? How do you keep going even when it gets hard? Let's move into the final part of the journey. If you've made it this far, if you're still watching this video, that's not a coincidence. It means you've made a choice. You're ready to face the emptiness, to find your direction, to place yourself back at the center of your life. And that's a big step. Stoic philosophy reminds us, the outside world may be chaotic, but when your inner world is clear, nothing can shake you so easily. Right now, you've taken your first steps on that path. You've reflected, you've asked deeper questions, and most importantly, you've realized that it all starts within, not out there. Now you know. The feeling of emptiness isn't a weakness, it's a call to real masculinity, to inner leadership, to a more meaningful life. But keeping this path alive, that's up to you. Each morning, take a few quiet minutes to return to your center. Every time a tough emotion shows up, observe yourself first, and every day, remind yourself who you choose to be. Remember, being a Stoic man isn't a label. It's a stance, a discipline, a way of life, and you've already started choosing it. If you don't want to walk this path alone, Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share your thoughts in the comments. This channel isn't here to hand you easy answers. It's here to walk beside you, sung kindly, clearly, on this hard but honest journey. Take care, Stoic man. And never forget, if you're centered, you're already in the right place.